Thea would tell me that every single day. All men cheat.
Ay, Dios mío.
Yeah. All men cheat. All men are dogs. You focus on you. You focus on your kids. And I was like, okay, Thea.
At least where I'm at right now, I get the don't trust men thing.
Yeah.
And not to generalize all men, obviously, of course, right?
Although, wait.
Look at the camera.
Let's be clear on the language, though. But we're saying all men cheat, or all men are dogs. So that is absolutely a generalization.
Okay.
That is a generalization.
That's a textbook definition of a generalization.
Let's say
Yeah, and I grew up with that. My Thea would tell me that every single day. All men cheat.
Ay, Dios mío.
Yeah. All men cheat. All men are dogs. You focus on you. You focus on your kids. And I was like, okay, Thea.
Okay, wait. I'm gonna pass this to Joy. I'm not saying you agree with that, but
Okay.
just roll with that point because she brought up a really good point. Have you ever heard that language in your life?
that all men cheat.
Yeah, or that you just can't trust them?
Not for my parents.
Okay.
I conjured that up myself.
Okay. Okay. No, this is good. Okay, this is good. This is good. If that's the case, that's the case.
Yeah. So at least where I'm at right now, I get the don't trust men thing.
Yeah.
And not to generalize all men, obviously, of course, right?
Although,
Look
wait.
at the
But
camera.
let's be clear on the language, though. But we're saying all men cheat, or all men are dogs. So that is absolutely a generalization.
Okay.
That is a generalization.
That's a textbook definition of a generalization.
Let's say most. Or
Maybe we can, throughout the conversation,
Some.
maybe we'll get to some.
some.
Maybe we'll get to some.
I mean, I was just put in a position where I was cheated on
Okay.
multiple times. And so
Same person?
yes. So that's why I'm very strict on the fine line of knowing what you're going to put up with and knowing what you're not.
Absolutely.
Knowing when to leave. But because of that, this was somebody that I knew for a very, very long time. And that's why I am strictly, I don't think that you know everybody fully.
Of course not.
So I think because of that, that's why, at least me personally, I have my guard up because you think you know somebody and then you don't. Mm-hmm. And that's what hurts the most is when you think, you know, this is somebody I love, this is somebody I trust, this is somebody that I know like the back of my hand, know better than myself.
Yep.
And then they turn around and, you know, they do cheat or they do hurt you or they do leave. Mm-hmm. Then it's like, okay, if they could do that to me and they were my everything, they were my best friend, I knew them better than anybody else, how could I think that somebody that is just out there minding his business, I don't know him, but I'm supposed to just go out there and trust that he's not going to do that to me or even that guy or any other guy.
Maybe not immediately.
Give him some time and he'll cheat.
No. I see you try to rope me into that one, man. No. What I would say is, to me, and again, you guys feel free to jump in.
Oh, that was good.
I think you progressively let somebody in.
Yeah.
You give them small truths about yourself that you're comfortable with, and then you see over and over again, how do they respond? Do they hold that with a level of respect? Do they honor the fact that I've shared something very personal with them? And the more that I see that, my comfort is naturally going to grow with them over time.
Yeah.
But to your point, I'm never going to know this person fully because number one, we're constantly growing, changing, and evolving. So you can never know that person. And I would submit, we're jumping ahead, but I don't care. I want us to always imagine that I don't fully know this person. And because I don't fully know this person, I need to put in the effort to constantly engage in meaningful conversation with them.
Right.
So that I can learn from them, because what I will
agree.
tell you, what I believe happens. Complacency is real. I think the longer we're with people, sometimes we think we know them to a certain degree. So then we start doing things like trying to predict their behavior and predict their responses, which then makes us start changing the way that we communicate. Because then we'll say like, well, you know, I would tell Elizabeth that, but man, she's going to respond like this, so I'm not even going to bother.
Yeah, you assume.
So what's the net effect? I didn't communicate. How does that impact the relationship? We grow distant. because you really want to know what's going on. And I'm like, I can't talk to you about it, but I can't tell you why I can't talk to you about it, because I'm having this own internal dialogue in my own mind
Yeah.
without allowing you to be a part of it and actually speak for yourself.
Yeah.
So I always encourage us, this is a platform issue, I always encourage us to always be curious. Never assume that you know this person, not to say that you know nothing about them, but know that things can change, circumstances can change.
Right.
And importantly, if there's conversations that I don't typically talk about or I haven't historically brought up with them, maybe I need to start doing that, because it'll help me kind of filter and, and kind of screen through people to figure out who's being genuine and who's not.
Yeah, absolutely. I think also, as much as somebody could hurt us, because that's life. Life sucks sometimes,
Of
and
course.
people are gonna hurt you. That's how it goes. I think the hardest part is the unlearning and the bouncing back and wanting to be open with somebody. I think that is the biggest strength that anybody could have, because you get hurt the wrong way one time, you could be done for.
Yeah. That's when we start making comments like that.
Yeah.
Well, I can't trust any women because all women cheat. So like, I'm just gonna give up.
And that's a place where I'm at least currently right now, where for me it's hard, because something that I admire about myself is I try my best to forgive and try my best to forget. Obviously there's always going to be parts of me that hurt, but something that I like is, or try my best to do, is still be open. But at the same time, it's like you creep, you open, and then it's like, okay, like maybe that was too much. How do we know what they're gonna do with that? Did I do too much? Did that push them away? Are they gonna stay? Are they gonna leave? How do they perceive that? That's the anxious attachment talking, of course.
And that's what you got to talk about.
Right.
Ultimately, that's what I would want us to be communicating with that person about. So it was like, hey, I felt like I said something that, I don't know, maybe came across as like I was off-putting a bit. And I just want to know that, like, are we still in a good position right now?
Yeah.
And then, but the second most important part is you got to let them respond.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I'm saying that because I can't tell you how many couples I've worked with where they literally don't talk because they'll say things like, I've known this person for so long.
Yeah.
I know what he's going to say, Elizabeth, so why am I going to waste my time? He already said no to this, so he's probably, and then I catch them when they do that, he's probably going to say no. I'm like, probably, exactly, because you're not him.
Yeah, exactly.
Stop trying to speak for him.
Exactly.
Let him speak for himself. Let you speak for yourself. Don't let me dare come into the situation and say, well, I already know Joy's about to say this, so I'm just going to avoid the situation and hopefully, it'll just gloss itself over. That's ridiculous. That's how we start setting ourselves into this big booby trap that's going to blow up in your face later, because now we have this mountain of issues that are going unaddressed, and we're wondering, like, again, why are we distant? Why don't we want to spend time together? Why are we maybe seeking out attention and validation outside of the relationship? You know what I'm saying? We're not getting those needs met because we're just like, well, I got to get it from somewhere and I can't trust you anymore. So, but I won't leave you and I won't talk about it. So I'm just kind of biding my time, I suppose.